Hey guys, I'm Ash and in this video I'm just going to be talking to Julien from Metal Morphosis, who did my microdermal and my conch punch, and I'm going to talk to him about his career and body mods and all of that kind of shit.
Hi guys.
Firstly, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Julien. I'm 28 almost. I'm French. I moved in London like 3 years ago now. I've been piercing for almost 10 years now, and I've been working in London for 3 years and in Metamorphosis for 2.5 years now.
How and when did your love of body modifications start?
I think I've been pretty much always into it. As soon as I got my first piercing, I was quite young actually, and when I think about it now, it was pretty badly done. I had some kind of top helix up here when I was like maybe 12 or 13, when I was on holiday in the south of France in like some kind of dodgy shop where they never asked my ID or anything, even if I did look older. But my mom was around as well, but yeah, it was a bit dodgy when you think about it. And I got my first tattoo quite young as well, because my mom had one done and she told the guy basically that we wanted a matching one. So we had a matching one, but I was 14 as well.
You have a matching tattoo with your mom?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's covered now. Well, it's on the way to be covered, but yeah. So yeah, because my mom was around maybe, but at that time, like 10 years ago, maybe it wasn't that strict, or I don't know, maybe we just ended up in dodgy shops. But yeah, I was 14 and we had a matching one and the guy did not ask any idea. And then pretty much I was always hanging, and that's my dog, I was always hanging around tattoo shops because I really like that. Yeah, progressively I think, I don't know in this country, but in mine you have to be 18 to be properly trained or to start being trained. So from 16 I was working already in a tattoo shop, but just cleaning around, booking the appointments, sterilizing the stuff, and then when I turned 18 I've been trained. It won't be relevant for you guys, but I've been trained by someone called Natalie and then by someone called Le Marquis in Lyon, in France.
How long did your training last?
Well, it was a bit different at that time because there was no school or like apprenticeship like you can find nowadays. So basically I was just working, and progressively they told me, do you want to be trained to do like the basic piercings? Progressively you were doing a bit more. So I think I was working for more than 2 years before I can only touch a needle. So it was quite long compared to now, like the courses you can pay like a month's courses or 2 weeks courses to become a body piercer, which I don't really believe is a good thing because you can't really become one within 2 weeks, but that's just my point of view.
What is your favourite piercing or mod to do and why?
At some point it used to be doing septums, but it became a bit of a trend now, so I'm getting bored of it. I used to like death piercing as well. I really like genital piercing. I really like microdermal piercing, and I like anything a bit unusual, like surfaces or like hair project, a bit different. I quite like cutting and yeah, anything a bit unusual, and heavy mods in general, what the one I can do. Used to enjoy doing corsets as well. It's quite fun, but the temporary thing. And yeah.
Do you want to learn to do stuff like ear pointing, things like that?
I'm not sure actually.
Do you like it?
I do like it, but it scares me a bit still.
Why?
I don't know. I found that I think it's just like I'm a bit worried about the mods that you don't know how they're gonna evolve. It's like the way the stitch is gonna heal, you never know in advance how the shape gonna be in the end. So I think I would be like, I want to be sure of my result, even if you're not around for the healing and what the customer would do about it. But things like ear pointing, or even sometimes scarification, because depends on the skin on the person, like for mixed race people for example, you never know how it's going to heal. so you can be blamed for a result that is actually not your fault. So I'm still a bit maybe worried about that and scared about it, but maybe one day.
Is there anything else you want to do apart from those things? Like that you want to learn and start doing?
I think it's some kind of path, so you've got to start somewhere and progressively, and there's some mods that I'm not attracted to, like there's some stuff I think I would never be able to do, first because I think I won't be good enough, but like some really heavy mods, like basically would be like for me a surgeon job, like navel removal or like nipple removal or like a voluntary amputation, like some people get a finger cut or like something like that, or even like really deep genital modification as well. I'm not into that. But then I don't know, a few years ago I was like properly really scared about doing like even just a small cut or small scarification, and now it's alright. So let's see in a few years time.
So you already said that you don't really believe in like courses and things like that. So what is your advice for people trying to get into
It's
the
not
industry?
that I don't believe in it. I think it's pretty good if you can do it, but I think it's like the first step, I would say, like to know the basics and stuff, but then I wouldn't trust someone pretending to be a body piercer after only like a month course or a few weeks courses. And I think it's a bit of a robbery as well, because they cost a lot of money, and I'm not sure you can learn everything that the piercing word is within 2 weeks. And there's no better training than be in a proper studio and like literally dealing with the everyday customers problem, all the things you can fix, all the issues you can come across. And well, I don't know, it's just like, yeah, that can be a first step, a good first step. I don't know how you say in English, but like the thing that,
Foundations?
yeah, kinda. And then, but obviously after that you have to work in a studio. But I've got a lot of echoes about it. Like, I'm not sure, like a lot of feedback.
Oh.
Like, I'm not sure after that kind of course any reputed studio will take you, because they will expect you to have more experience. So in a way it's a good thing, but I think it's also because it's a bit of a trend at the moment. Piercing was not like that like 10 years ago. When I started piercing, basically it was mostly like the gay word, or like some pervs, or like the punks, or basically the freaks and the weirdos. And now it's more
Of a
open.
fashion.
Yeah, it's more open to everyone, which is good in a way. But in the other way, it means there's more people into it, and sometimes not the right people that just want to make money on something that is fashionable at the moment. And it's not what piercing is for me. Piercing should be a passion more than something you do to get money, basically.
Well, I should have like thought about this and taken hay fever tablets. What is the strangest thing you've ever been asked to do?
Like piercing wise?
Piercing, body mods, anything.
Okay. Eyelid piercing, maybe.
How?
Eyelid, yeah.
So like.
Yeah, going through.
Oh, I've seen
Yeah.
those in like some book.
But I refused it because even if it's just for a picture or something, I think it might damage your eye or like just scratch it every time you blink.
Yeah, and if you get infected, then.
Yeah, no, I'm not into that. I refuse quite a lot of finger dermals because for me there's literally no point, and they will stay like maybe a week or something. And then there was a bit of a trend as well about the surfaces on the fingers, like having like some kind of surface.
Tiny.
Yeah, like a ring kind of thing. I wouldn't do that.
Have you done any like elbows?
No, I would really like to do that actually, even if it sounds stupid. But and then everything unusual, I usually, or if that's someone that is quite heavily modified, I do it. But as you've got to let them know about all the risks. Obviously, like those kind of piercing would never stay like some random. I've done a few like chin surfaces,
Okay.
or
That
like
sounds
I've done
pretty painful.
yeah. There's one I really want to do, but I've never been asked,
What is
and
it?
it's the mandibular piercing.
Oh, the one
The
that
one
goes
that
right
goes
through your
from
chin.
the bottom of your tongue and comes up here. I would really like to do that, just for the experience of it. I've been asked to do like the surface that goes behind the collarbones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I refused that. I wasn't feeling ready or like prepared enough. And then all kind of weird genitals as well. Um, or just sometimes like stretching things too quickly, but it doesn't really answer the question, does it? I'm going too far. I've been asked to do like a bumhole surface one day.
Oh, I think it
Like
was
some
this
kind
the
of-
one with rings going
Yeah,
round that you
yeah,
told
yeah,
me
yeah.
about.
Like some kind of PA, but that grows from the poo hole. I would never do that. First of all, because I don't see the point, and then I can't really imagine how you heal that, coding that you've got to do your business. So it might like make it. Anyway, I think that's it pretty much. Mod-wise, I've refused a few Nazi-related scarification. Like some people wanted not the svatsika, not the proper Indian one that is actually a peace sign, but the proper Nazi one. So I refuse, of course, all that kind of shit. Excuse my language.
It's fine, you can swear on here.
I've had quite a lot of people asking me if I can do circumcision.
What, grown people?
No, like cutting
On-
the
on
top of the
babies?
penis. Yeah. No, yeah, grown-ups. Yeah,
Oh,
grown-ups.
that's what I'm asking you. Grown
yeah,
ups or
grown-ups.
babies?
But I think it's more like some kind of NHS work. But that's it, pretty much.
What is the biggest change you've seen in the industry while you've been part of it?
Probably that it became a bit more of a trend now, and literally a lot more people are getting pierced. And it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because maybe it makes mentalities evolve in a way. Like people are judging you a bit less of regarding being a bit different, alternative or modified. But in the other way, I think because it's a bit of a trend, sometimes people don't realize that it's quite a big commitment regarding the healing process, and you've got to be quite how do you say, like quite involved in the healing, committed to it, like properly taking care of your piercing and stuff. And we've got quite a few people like coming around, like having a piercing done, and then 2 days after coming back wanted to take it out, do something else. Why not buying a handbag, man? It's something like,
It's a change to your body.
yeah, exactly. And that's it pretty much.
Like, I do want to train in genitals eventually, I think. I just don't like, because like where I used to work in North Finchley, I just had to deal with a lot of creeps like that just come and get you to change their earrings, they want you to touch their ears and shit like that. And I just feel like with genitals it might be even worse.
Oh, I've had so many things. Do you want to put that on the video?
Is it really
I've
bad?
had this guy once. He wanted to get a PA done, and I was like, yeah, sure. So we booked an appointment, and then he was like, do you need to see my cock? And I was like, well, we'll see the day I will pierce it. I was like, no, but to see if it fits, blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, alright. We got naked, and he had a massive hard on. And I was like, oh, thank you for that. Well, I've seen it now. You're happy, blah, blah, blah. See you tomorrow for the piercing. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I'm all excited because it's been a while. I haven't seen a sexy young guy, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. The day I pierced him, I was setting up everything on the thing. And I was like, well, you can make yourself comfy and then lie down. And he was starting like having a wank. I'm like, and it happens quite a few times because usually sometimes
I've read
when you,
like
when you
even
just
like women
clean
just going in-
sometimes the area,
Yeah.
people are getting hard. So what I always do is like I show them the needle, and then the dick is literally shrinking on itself like a snail. And then I did that, and he was like, no, wait, give me 2 minutes. And he jizzed on the floor. He properly come on the floor. And then he put his clothes on, and he just left, and he left me a tenner at the entrance of the shop, and he left.
What, with his jizz on the floor?
Yeah.
Wait, why did
He just
wait,
wanted
he
to
just...
show off. I'm not even sure he
Oh my
wanted to get
God.
pierced. So one day I had a lady coming for a genital piercing. She lied down, and I saw the string of the tampon down there.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm sorry, but with all the days, nothing against that, that's natural, but don't
But
you have
all
another
the
time to
days.
come than when you're on your period to get your lady bit pierced?
Be
That
like-
area is quite sensitive at that time, so it means it might affect your healing process. It might, nah.
Yeah, you're gonna have more blood and shit down there, and
Yeah, well,
It's
even,
just even
and for me,
dirtier.
it's not really the best moment either. Like,
yeah, no. Great. Ugh. Do you ever want to open your own studio?
well, that'd be the goal, yeah, of course, but there's quite a lot of competition in London. But yeah, why not one day? If someone wants to finance me as well.
What future body mods do you personally want to get? Or piercings?
On me? Well, the next step, I think I want to go a bit more into scarification. But as I mentioned before, you never really know how it's going to heal, so that's why. I've got one, but it was a bit easily done, like just trying basically. So I really want to see how my skin's going to react and see if I can get, like, I really like when he raised, like with a really, really nice shape. I've had a subdermal done as well. But I had to take it out. I really want a few more done. What's next? I want to do a bit more suspension as well. I've done a few.
You do suspension?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that hurts.
I've got a
just
massive
looking
scar
at
in
it.
my back because I've done one of the first suspension in my country. It was like 10 years ago.
Oh my
But
god.
one of the hook dropped. So I was like just holding on one side. So you can see I've got a massive scar here somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're brave. I couldn't do
Really,
it.
really nice feeling.
I've been reading about it recently, but I just don't think I could do it. Like, it just seems so painful.
It's not. There's something a bit cheesy that I really want to get done, but I want my eyeliner done, like the makeup.
Oh,
But
tattoo.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
tattooed,
me
yeah.
too.
I know it's more like some kind of aestheticism thing more than tattooing on itself, but I really want to get that done. I don't know why, it scares me a bit though.
Do you know what? It only scares me if like I do it and then I decide to change to a different style of eyeliner.
Yeah, but don't do the wings.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
literally do
thinking, just do the
yeah,
lines,
that's what
and
I
then I
want.
can
And you
do
can
the
just add
wings,
the bit,
the
yeah,
wi-
yeah.
yeah,
And I'm
do-
a guy, so it's a bit different as well. Maybe when I will be 50, I won't wear makeup every day, I don't know.
Then you could just put makeup over it, right?
Yeah.
And it probably fade
Yeah.
by then.
Yeah, I do want to get my ear stretched a bit more, of course. I'm into my stretching period at the moment, so I'm stretching my lobes. I just had my helix punched. I'm stretching my conch. I'm stretching my labret. I'm stretching my septum. I'm stretching my nipple. Yeah, I think it goes
Stretching
like
everything.
from period. I've got some tattoo period when I get a lot of tattoo done within a few days. But barely no piercings at all because they're quite a bit of a hassle to heal, to be honest,
It
sometimes.
take longer, whereas
Yeah,
tattoos, it's
compared
just
to
creamed
tattoo,
and then
within a
you're
week you're done and that's it, to the next one. But obviously
done.
like quite a
Well,
lot
I
of...
scab quite a lot of tattoos.
Oh, my I want my full black arm done. To be able to do maybe like scarification on top. I think that's it pretty much. Heavy. I did wanted to get my belly button removed at some point, but then I got it tattooed and I like the fact that it's all blacked out now, so I might keep it. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, did getting your belly button tattooed really feel strange? I feel that'd be really strange feeling.
That was actually not that bad. It was more ticklish.
Yeah, that's what I mean by strange. Like I can't imagine.
But I think it's because on that day, on that session, we've done that line that goes from...
yeah.
So that bit was really sore, like the Adam's apple,
Yeah.
then the sternum, then we've done my downstairs bit,
Okay.
So I think after all that, the belly button was not that painful
Wait, that line goes the whole way.
to my cock, yeah. So that wasn't, the belly button wasn't the worst. Thank you, Sarah, for that.
Who split your tongue and via what method? What method do you use when you split tongues?
I've got my tongue split quite a while ago, I think. I saw on Facebook the other day the thing that reminds you when you had
Your
something
memories,
done. Yeah. So I've got my tongue split. I've had my tongue split 9 years ago.
Wow.
It was done by Olivier Lézé, which is a French body modification nighter. I don't know how you say it, bod modder?
Body mod artist?
Yeah, body mod artist. Assist to Morgan Dubois, which is another great artist. But at that time it was just like a cut and then a bit of cauterization on the sides. So my tongue healed up quite a lot and I've lost a lot of the cut. So I got it redone a year after by Morgan Dubois, and I had some stitches done. And then I wasn't still happy about it because it wasn't deep enough for me, so I cut it myself a third time. And yeah, that's it pretty much.
How did you do it yourself though?
It's not that bad.
You're braver than me. See,
And I wanted
even
to get
just
done a
piercing
fourth
myself-
time because it's still not. I keep seeing, I don't know if you know Jan Breniak, he's an amazing artist and he's doing those deep tongue split, they're really gorgeous. But that answers your other question, like what's my next modification. I want to get my frenectomy done when you get your sublingual
Oh, you get
removed
it, yeah.
to be able to do a deeper split, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I still can't believe you split your own tongue though. How? Like, I'm just
Wasn't that
thinking.
bad?
Yeah, but you'd have to do it in a mirror.
There's the video on YouTube, on Facebook, I think.
Is it? Oh, I have to watch that. Okay. You have a lot of tattoos and piercings. What are you going to do when you run out of space for new ones? Like, do you think you'll miss the experience?
I think I've reached pretty much everything I wanted to get done. But it comes and goes, and sometimes I just take some out and then I put them back in or in a different space, or just about changing and stuff. But regarding tattoos, I'm actually thinking quite a lot about it. Like, I was thinking about this the other day and I was like, it's not that I regret some tattoos, it's just that I regret the placement of them sometimes, because I'm like, oh, this one is quite small and it's taking a lot of space. I could have done something bigger on that area.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, yeah, I might get my arm fully black so I can get like scarification on top or like white ink. I've got my whole back that I kept. I barely have anything on my back because I want to get a massive back piece one day. So yeah, still a bit of space.
Would you ever get your eyeballs tattooed?
I really like that mod. It's, I don't know, it's really pretty. But as I mentioned, for the ear pointing and all that heavy modification, I think you don't have enough feedback yet. And I personally think that maybe in 20 years time, when we're gonna have enough backup on it, like being able to see if it can damage your sight or if it can create any kind of issue, maybe, yeah.
How do you stay on top of current trends and best practices?
I think the shop we're working on is like the best one to stay on top of the trends. But I don't know, just by following a lot of artists as well, you see what's happening. That's the good thing about the social media, I think. But that's the thing I've noticed as well. Like, I think piercing or even tattooing is the kind of job that always evolves, and you have to stay on top just regarding the methods sometimes, because when I started, everything was mostly done in 1.6 millimeters, all the piercing. Now we've got 1.2, even sometimes like 1 millimeter. There was no dermal punch at that time, it was only skin divers for the microdermals. So it keep like evolving quite a lot, which is quite good. And even like regarding the mods you're doing, like for example, I've been through the trend of the snake bites like quite a lot when I used to pierce before, or the eyebrow piercing that is a bit like old-fashioned now.
I remember when that
and
guy came in.
yeah, or like
And you were
there's
like, what?
the death
Not
piercing is quite a
90
new thing as well.
Yeah, no, day piercings are really on the rise at the moment. But I think part of it is that whole like migraine rumour
Yeah,
thing.
the study about it,
But
or like
it's-
just having nose rings as well.
No,
Like,
nose
or the
rings
septum.
and
When I had my
nose rings and septums as a combo, I think, are
yeah,
really.
I remember when I had my septum done, everybody was like, "Oh, you look like a ball," and it was like really, really hard to have a septum done. Like you
I
see
used
everyone.
to hate septum piercings, and then when I was buying a stock order for my jewellery online store, I got some fake septum ones. I wore it for like a week, and then I just got it done.
Or the venom is quite new as well.
Yeah.
Or like
But there was that stage, you know, like with tongue surface piercings, where everyone was getting that, and then they're just like ending up like really rejected.
regarding the thing I don't do as well, you can put that stupid snake eye.
Oh yes.
I would never do that, and don't get that done. But yeah, it keeps evolving, and I don't know. I think you've got to do your own research, and you've got to be passionate enough to see what's best for you, what's best for your customer. I think regarding the pain as well, sometimes, like you have to think. Like some people are really not keen on the cannula, the way you pierced. They're more into blades.
Yeah.
I think that can make a difference for some piercings, but yeah.
Has the way you look negatively affected your social interactions with other people?
Yeah. Well, I think as soon as you decide to be a bit alternative, obviously it creates some issues with people. But I always say that it's some kind of natural selection, basically. In a way that when you look normal or like
Regular.
regular, anyone can talk to you, can come to talk to you, can like interact with you.
But
When
feel
you
like
do
your
have my look,
filters out.
yeah, exactly. When you do have my look, some people are scared or some people are not open enough to come to talk to you. So in a way, I don't think I would like to have those people in my life. But then it creates some issues as well. Like most of the time, like people think still that you're some kind of drug addict or you're some kind of creep or like delinquent.
You're not a creep?
I am. Freak, it's written here. But I don't know. In my personal life as well, it's a bit difficult because I think the gay scene is like, that's a completely different subject. The gay scene
But
wants...
I do feel like
Yeah.
the LGBT community is very pierced as a whole.
No, it's not.
Everyone I know.
Maybe the lesbian
that is-
community.
Maybe, okay.
The thing is, the gay community wants to be accepted, but as soon as you're different, they don't really accept you as well. So basically, queer guys, they've got a few piercing here and there, but then for them, you're too much. So I feel like I don't belong really anywhere because you're too much for the gay community. But then the piercing world is not really a gay place. It's a lesbian place quite a lot, a queer place, an open-minded place, but there's not a lot
Yeah,
of gay guys
I
on
get
it.
what you mean.
So you feel like you don't belong anywhere. But then family-wise, there was a lot of issues as well, even if my mom is really open about it. But the rest of the family, or just like in France, it was a bit more difficult as well. Being in London, I think, is more an open city, but I've been through a lot of hard time in France because people are really, really narrow-minded. So that's why I moved here, basically, to be able to be myself and embrace all the stuff. But yeah, that's why I ended up as well in the piercing, I think, because when I was quite young and I was trying to find a small job, like when you have to pay for your school or whatever, there was nowhere you can literally find a job if you're too modified. So I ended up like working in the tattoo industry where no one could.
Yeah, you
Judge
can
me.
be as
Yeah,
modified as you want.
Yeah, exactly.
So Sean asked, what's the worst piercing experience you've ever had, as in piercing someone else, and what advice would you give people getting a piercing?
Sorry, I'm rolling a cigarette. I think the lady with the period thing was a good example. Then you
What are your worst experience?
Yeah, I think so. Or just like people generally being rude. I just don't understand that. Why would you be rude to someone that is going to stab you in a minute with a needle, like literally? Or like, yeah, people being rude in general, or people doing a pretty bad aftercare on the piercing and then trying to put the blame on you. I've done my part of the job. I know that it was, that sounds quite presumptuous, but I know it was
But yeah, like if you send it
hygienically
home knowing
properly
it was,
done, and that I've done everything right, like medically, not medically, but like piercing wise, sanitary wise,
sanitation wise.
and yeah, or like what was the worst? Probably when people try to tell you your job as well, like you're doing something and they're like, oh, should it not be done like that, or like,
Or when they tell you, oh, I can only wear sterling silver.
yeah, and they don't know
All
what
the
it,
bloody
or I
time.
can just wear silver, but you can't wear silver, like literally, like it's gonna anodize within like a few hours in your ear, oxidize a few hours in your ear. Or like, yeah, or my piercing is infected, but you don't really know what an infection is.
I did a
man.
video on this. Did you not see it?
Yeah, I did. Like, it's inflamed, or like the generalization of the terms as well. Oh, I've got a keloid. A keloid is for certain type of skin or certain type of people. You just have some kind of
It's so
bump
rare.
that
Yeah,
is
you just have
the
an
normal
irritation
healing
bump.
process for most of the people. It means that your body is sending too much stuff to clean the area, hence the lump, which is the excess of that product, which is called lymph. Or like when, oh, there's pus coming out. No, it's lymph. Trust me, if you smell pus, you would know what pus is, and you would know what an infection is if you had one. Or yeah, just that type of things. And then what was the other part of the question?
And what advice would you give people getting pierced?
Oh yeah. Well, now with the social media, you can have a good look on people portfolios. My doggy. And then maybe try to go there first, have a look around, see how clean the studio is, see.
You can message them as well and ask them
Yeah.
questions to see that they know what they're
Yeah,
talking
a few
about.
reviews as well, even though sometimes people don't really know what they're talking about. So if it's a review from another professional, maybe. If it's
I
a
think-
review for a customer, it doesn't mean that
What, like
it's...
my review of you from another professional?
Yeah. But yeah.
But I think, yeah, reviews you
You have
can
to
look
be
at,
confident as well with the
take with a
piercing that's gonna,
pinch
the
of
piercer,
salt.
like.
Yeah,
Is that it?
that's all my questions. Okay, now we have to do an outro without laughing.
No, you have to do the question like, how many piercing have you got? Can you show
I
us?
deliberately didn't ask you that
Why?
because I couldn't remember what you wrote down on that sheet of tissue.
I do kinda.
We'll count them again. Maybe I can put them on the screen.
Put it in the beginning in the description, yeah?
Okay.
Okay. Do it, bitch.
So that's all from us today, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you drop a comment below if you have any other questions for Julien, and I'll try and get you maybe a part 2 for this if we have enough questions for that. If I can get him to agree. Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.